Right. Hello everybody. Good evening to all. Thanks to Arjun for coordinating this wonderful webinar, and thanks to Manjunath and Ajay and Priyanka for your thoughts. The topic fresher talent, how to get the best out of them. It's an interesting one. I guess everyone out here today is keen on understanding how your organization can make the best value out of your fresher talent. I'm happy about the resourceful discussions that we had so far and the huge turn up today. In my view, from an organizational perspective, fresher talent is an investment for the future. For any organization, if they invest on a property or a product or a commodity, expecting a high return in future, we should make sure it is done in the right way. Here the commodity is in total the fresher talent pool that I am talking about, not one resource per se. To make sure you get the right ROI on this investment or to get the best out of your fresher talent, here are the golden rules. Invest on the right resources or hire right. Right resource, right orientation and grooming. Ideally, this will be spread over 2 years. Even if in organization we plan for a structured 2 to 3 months training, we should look at it for 2 years in overall. The third one is the plan to retain resources. While hiring a fresh talent pool, the organization should put in a proper plan to retain these resources for a minimum period. Now, coming to the first point, invest on the right resources. While hiring freshers, the companies take into account the overall academic performance of the candidate. Preference is given to those who are self-learners and can add value to the company in the long run. Though academic performance is the only credential available on the resume for a fresher, candidates are hired based on the competency which is being judged during the interview. The different competencies which are being evaluated are knowledge, skills, attitude, traits, and motives. It depends on organization how they plan the weightages for these competencies and make sure their hiring is perfect. Today, there are various tools available in the industry for assessing these and hence add value to the hiring organizations. We have online assessment tools, programming assessment platforms, behavioral or psychometric assessments, etc., which are being used extensively. The second point is the right orientation and grooming. I guess we have discussed a lot or enough on it so far. Mr. Manjunath, Mr. Ajay, Mr. Priyanka has extensively talked about it and the importance of it. Probably I wouldn't want to get into it in detail. In organizations, even if we talk about a structured training program for 2 to 3 months, ideally this would span into for 2 years for entry level candidates. With the right orientation and training program in early days, the learning curve of an entry level talent is usually very smooth. I think I'll quickly get on to the last point, which is more important, which is a right plan to retain the resources. Companies, when they hire freshers, it's important for them to put in a plan to retain these resources. The thumb rule is 60% for 2 years. As per studies, if you cannot retain 60% of the fresh talent for a minimum of 2 years, the fresher hiring plan is to be relooked into. The important question here is, how do we retain them? Couple of points. Yeah, ideally, we need to create an environment that allows people to grow from within. Ideally, we should give them opportunity for professional and personal growth. Make it a great place to work in. Create flexible and challenging work. And of course, give them volunteering options. If they are good at something, give them opportunities for them to show it up. And finally, the recognition and rewards. These points would make them keep sticking on to company at least for 2 years. And if we can retain the resources for 2 years and further, probably the fresher hiring plan is becoming an effective method for the organization. With this, I would like to summarize the talk like this. Fresher talent acquired with a structured plan can become an asset to the organization. This is the end of my presentation. I am happy to take on some questions from your end if you have any. Thank you. Over to you, Arjun.
Thanks a lot, Joby. Thanks.